Okay, so for this assignment, we're going to look at some scatter plots, and it gives us 4 different statements. And we're just going to say whether each of the statements is true or false. All right, so it says the scatter plot shows the relationship between the number of hot dogs left over after a party and the number of people who attended a party. So the 2 variables that are being compared, on my x-axis, I see it says number of people. So this number 8 represents 8 people at the party. The y-axis says number of hot dogs remaining, and remember this is remaining or left over after the party. So this number 40 means that there would be 40 hot dogs left over after the party. Now, if I'm looking at the different data points, like for example, this data point or this dot, it represents that if there were 8 people at the party, there are 60 hot dogs left over after the party. Since you've already looked at or talked about the trends in the data or the correlations, like how the data or the 2 variables are related, I could see that the dots start kind of high. So that means when there's a low number of people, there's more hot dogs left over after the party. And as there's more people at the party, so as the X value gets bigger, like 20 people, there are less hot dogs left over after the party. So we would call this a negative correlation. This is a negative, and since it kind of makes a line, this would be a negative linear correlation. Okay, so now it's giving me 4 sentences or 4 statements, and we're going to figure out if each one is true or false. It says, if only people attended the party, so I'm going to come over here. They're talking about this number of people. Then around 28 hot dogs would be left over. Okay, so let's see. Well, there's no dot at 10, but based on the other dots, I can kind of see that if there were 10 people, it would be around here. 28 would be way down here. So I'm going to say this statement is false, because I would expect if there were 10 people, there should be a dot somewhere around here. So kind of like between 50 and 40 hot dogs would be left over. So I'm going to say for this one, I'm going to say this is false. Okay? All right. If 24 people attended the party, so 24 is not even on the graph, it would be kind of like further. So this is now like making a prediction. So it says if 20 people attended the party, then around 20 hot dogs would be left over. So let's see, the last dot that's on my scatter plot, let's see, it's between 18 and 20. Think about what number is between 18 and 20. I hope you said 19. So this dot would be kind of like 19 people. If 19 people went to the party, there would be around 30 hot dogs left over after the party. So since 24 would be kind of off to the side, so let's see, it's counting by 2, so 20. 22 would be around here. 24 would be around here. And these dots would just kind of keep going down this way. So I can estimate that 24 people would be kind of around here. I think that's a fair statement. That's true. That makes sense. Now, if it said something like there would be 80 hot dogs left over, that would be a false. But I think it would be fair to say there's about 20. This situation represents a proportional relationship. Well, when something is proportional, that means I'm going to have something on the on my origin. So that would mean 0 people, 0 hot dogs left over at the party. And it would either go down or up from there. So I'm going to say this is false because it has a y-intercept of 80. That's not proportional. That's a linear relationship. It says if 30 people attended the party, that's even way further off. there would be little to no hot dogs left over. I think that's fair. Because if it was 30, 30 would be way over here, and that line would be going further down. That's true. If there were 30 people, there would be 10 or less hot dogs left over. Okay, so now you're going to look at some other scatter plots on your own and look at the true and false statements and figure out if each statement is true or false based on what the scatter plot is showing you. Good luck.